Welcome to Polk Salad. We are continuing our exciting segment on recycling, repurposing, reusing, recapturing products that people come in contact with. I am very excited about our guests today, as I usually am, but these three guests that we have today they really do some significant and unusual things. We'll have one guest who works in the world of recycling clothes. According to the U.S. EPA, 85% of our textiles, which is 11 million tons per year, end up in landfills. That's clothes and linens and shoes. 11 million tons. So I'm very excited about our guest who's going to tell us how they impact that and how they reuse, recycle, and repurpose clothing. We also have a guest who helps people find an outlet for old glassware that they have. Wine glasses, punch bowls, glass platters, all kinds of things, and what they turn them into. And then one of our guests does something very significant with his ammunition casings, and we'll show you some exciting stuff about how he reuses those. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are so excited and pleased to have Jill Goold with us this morning, and she is helping our community and the world really in a very special way, and we're going to talk to her right now and let her tell us how she's doing that. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I have to say, just as a person, I love what you do and why you're doing it. So tell me a little bit about how long you've been here in the area.
I've been with PCL doing this job for 2.5 years. I'm a native Oregonian, but I've been all over the place.
Have you?
And then ended up back here.
Oh, nice.
So,
so were you from here originally?
No, I was from Eastern Oregon originally.
See. And now you're
so,
here.
And now I'm here.
Good. And what brought you here?
Well, my husband got a job in Corvallis, so we lived there. And then the job in Monmouth came up, and because of the company, I am commuting up here to work here.
And so tell us, what is your job here?
My job here is to manage the 2 consignment stores for Partnerships in Community Living, which is a consignment store for recycled clothing, and at the same time we are supporting people with developmental disabilities to learn job skills and work in the community and develop some public skills.
And PCL is, as we know it, is a pretty big nonprofit, which I love because the people that you guys work for and with are part of our demographic, just like Western students are part of our community's demographic. So we have businesses and homes and all kinds of people living in our community that are served by you guys. So you guys have 2 outlets for clothing, right?
Yes, we do.
And what do you take in those outlets?
We take any good used. Our main store, Downtown Trends, takes women's, men's, children's, all kinds of clothing, shoes, purses, accessories, that kind of thing. And our new store, Boomerang Fashions, is right downtown Monmouth, and it's focused on the younger women, so more for the college, late high school age, so more trendy, young clothing down there.
And so, do you guys see a lot of clothes coming? Do people in the community in the area participate in what you're trying to do and give you their clothing?
We have a lot of people who donate clothing to us, and we're always welcome to take more. And we also, but mostly what we do is consignment. So people bring their clothes into us, and we price and sell them for them. And when they sell, they get a percentage of the money, and then the store gets the rest.
So not only are you keeping clothing out of the landfills, you are allowing people to make money off of their old clothes.
Yes.
And to me, more importantly, you are training individuals who wouldn't have the opportunity to have that kind of exposure to the public, right?
Yes.
So your employees are pretty much the people that PCL serves?
Yes.
Oh, and so,
Yes.
so are there job coaches and job trainers there with them as well?
Yes, so we have 6 women that work at the store with developmental disabilities, and we have a job coach who comes with them and helps manage the situation and gets everybody working on their jobs that need done. And we all just work together and basically run the store together.
So, and what happens if you don't sell the clothes? Do they go in the trash?
No, we donate them back to PCL, and they go out to the people we support. We're completely nonprofit at the store as well, so so we donate them back to the people we support, can have them, because we have a lot of low-income people that we support, and then anything else we distribute out to other nonprofits and places where people can use them.
So because you're not, as you're saying, it's a nonprofit, you're not a business in it for business, you're doing it for much grander reasons. So to me, as we've been doing this series on recycling, repurposing, I've just seen so many people doing so many unique and unusual things, but not many of them have such a broader range as you do in having people who work there, you know, employed.
Yes.
And, you know, I know for me growing up, there was no PCL. There was no place for people who had these types of disabilities to meet the public or to go out and do anything but either stay home or elsewhere. So I love that about PCL.
Well,
and I love that you do what you do. And I love, too, that the clothing just keeps going and going and going. Because it's clothes, shoes.
Yes.
Yeah. And you guys don't do like household goods or anything.
We aren't doing that right now.
Right. Because, I mean, it seems like every time I go in the store, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, and it's always changing. It's not like, so you guys must do a really good service there.
We get a lot of new things in every day, and things are coming in and going out every single day, so it's constantly changing.
I got this cute little top there, I have to say. Yes, I do. I love taking things there, knowing that I had this image in my mind of when I was little. We used to, you know, I grew up in Louisiana, and we just have, it was okay for us to have bonfires in the backyard. And one time my mom just got on this cleaning frenzy, and she was cleaning out. We had this big box of clothes she didn't know what to do with, so she burned them. I mean, this must have been early 60s. And I'm thinking, really? It was perfectly good clothes, not good to us, but it just, even at that time, I was little, and then I thought, this can't be right, you know?
Yes.
This can't be right. I guess it's better than ended up in the landfills, which 11 million tons, really?
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know that statistic. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know, it is amazing. So you probably feel good about all that stuff. It can't be an easy task. Training people, dealing with customers bringing in clothes, having to run an efficient sort of business model that way.
Yeah, it's a challenge every day, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a really good time, and people are learning some great things.
And you're doing such a good service for the community and the world in the long run. Now, what's your favorite part of that job?
Really, the people are my favorite part. Just getting to see people growing and learning.
And do you see that?
Oh,
the time
so
they
much.
come in,
So much, yes.
You
We
do.
see so much growth and so much. The public skills are what you see develop. And it's just an amazing thing to watch.
That's got to be inspiring. And what's your least favorite?
Mostly just getting up in the morning. Just getting there every day. Once I'm there, it's great. Just getting there is the hardest part.
I think that is for a lot
commute
of us,
is
right?
a little hard.
Get the coffee, get in the car, and get there, right?
Yes.
Because you must just, I mean, that type of job, I mean, I don't know, do you have that kind of training where you have to do all these very different scheduling and working with, I'm sure, within all sorts of governmental guidelines and all these sorts of things?
Yeah, there's a lot involved. We have, the parent company does most of the work with the rules and that sort of thing. So we just do mostly run it as a community business. So people come in and they're expected to work in it as a real community business. And you know, we do support that, but it's run as a community
Right. Well, every time I go in there, it looks better and better. I mean, it just looks, especially the last few years. Maybe it's been since you've been there. I guess. Maybe I'm making that correlation now in my head. But it just looks so professional and so open and light. And
thank you.
Yeah, it's a joy to be, for me as a citizen of the community, and for many of us, I think. It's just a real joy to be a part, just a little part, in what you guys are doing.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody's support.
Well, thank you very much for what you do, and thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yep. We'll be right back with more repurposing, recycling, and just doing good things. Welcome back to Polk Salad. We are so excited to have our guests here with us today, one of whom is Brenda Pell, who's seated right here next to me. Brenda is a part of the team that works at Monmouth Hardware, but she does something extra special there other than just selling us the things that we need. So we're going to let Brenda tell us why she's here on the show and what kind of special things she does with glassware. Good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
Very nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and so what happened was I saw these, I think they're yard art, right?
Yes.
Made out of just, looks like discarded old glassware. It was wonderful. So tell me about how you got started doing that.
Well, I went to a store in Pacific City and they were selling them for $85, and I thought, you know, that looks like old art, old pieces of vases. What do I have? So I got home and it was a little more difficult than you first thought.
Really?
Well, it's not hard to do, but it's finding pieces that look good together. You know, you don't want to just stick any old thing on top of any old thing.
Right,
you know, you want it to look nice.
Right.
So I just kind of started going around to secondhand stores and this and that, and through my own cupboard of stuff that wasn't so important, and
Right.
and used glass and made like bird yard. Some of it is just art, yard art.
Right.
Some of it is like bird feeders or
bird baths.
bird baths.
Really?
My sister-in-law for Christmas she really got into it and gave me a whole bunch of stuff like punch bowls that made it for a bird bath type thing, and so it's just been fun to try different things.
And how do you hold them together?
You connect it with a glue that is called Goold. We carry that in the store.
Yeah, it's like an epoxy.
Yeah, it's an epoxy, and you connect it that way, and it keeps it really nice for outside. And
even for outside.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because I was just amazed, right? Because, I mean, how many of us don't, I mean, who doesn't have the old piece of, you know, punch bowl from Mama, or, you know, or platters that are kind of sort of out of vogue, you know?
Yeah, and it's a way to use them, but you still have them, you're not throwing them away, and you can use them outside and still have that remembrance without having to be using up your cupboard space with it.
That's a wonderful idea. And I saw it, I hadn't seen it before, but you have a little corner in the hardware store where you have local people that make handmade stuff mostly, right?
Yes, I do have a few places I purchase from, but I have a lot of local people that come in. I have dish towels, you know, that are locally made.
Yeah.
One lady has a bunch of things she has a llama farm here in town, and she makes soap and scarves out of the llama wool.
Really?
And,
you sell that at the hardware store?
Yeah.
All that stuff. And so
it's kind of unlikely things.
It is. That's wonderful though. I love the fact that people are using what they have and doing and making and creating, and for us it's the whole for our community, keeping things in the community, you know. So you guys have really done a wonderful job of I guess with that, creating that little corner where people have that outlet. And so all the yard art that the vases and the things that we're showing our viewers today, is that something you did, or do you have other people that do that?
The ones on a stick, somebody else locally does. And
really?
Yeah. And I did the ones that are more freestanding.
And do you keep doing those, or do other people imitate them and bring them in? Or
well, what's happened a lot is I've sold a few, but people really get the idea and they want to do it, which is fine with me. I'm happy for them to do it.
Yeah.
And so now I have kind of more just the clear art, which didn't show up as well, but I had like the bright blues and different things like that the people really enjoyed you know, they sold right away.
Yeah.
And I even had one organization have me make some special red, white, and blue ones for they're a political organization that has local meetings, and so I made a few, and they use them for putting their goodies on in the kitchen.
So you make like a tray, like those trays, stands, like a tree stand is kind of what it looks like. And so you have the tiers of, oh, you did that with, how'd you do that? Did you use wine glasses in the middle, or?
Yeah, I used a large plate on the bottom, small vase, small red vase. But it was it was fun, but it was to find the colors when somebody's special orders is a little more difficult. It's, you know, easier when you're just using what happens to fit together.
Right, and you don't have to look so hard at yard sales or secondhand stores or wherever you get your stuff. Do you just get stuff from, now you probably used up all you have.
No, well, I ended up, the sister-in-law is really excited about it, so she's always looking for things for me.
So wonderful to have somebody out there working for you, right? Oh, that's great.
So so I've got some fun to go now, and I have one brother that's really into one of the local university colors, and so I've been trying to find things that are those colors so I can put stuff together and make him a bird bath for his yard that's in the colors.
Well, speaking of bird baths, I noticed that you guys also have these bird houses with logos on them, like Western's logo and other universities. That's kind of,
that's a local guy, and he actually isn't quite in Monmouth, but he's from around here, and he just does that, and all of his proceeds go to breast cancer awareness.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
That just does my heart good to see that, you know, people are being able to be creative, take what they have, use it, other people love it, and then the good is going elsewhere to a much broader picture. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you guys have created that little corner where all these good things, because I'm sure they're not the only ones who have certain interests that they donate to.
Yeah.
So that's really good for our community. And it's really good. I'm a creative sort of person, and I love to help other people figure that out and be able to do it. And so when I see people just making something out of nothing or what they have, that's why I was so intrigued by that stuff in your store. You know, it's like somebody is just taking this old stuff and making something quite charming out of it.
Yes.
And I'm sure I'd love to see them in someone's yard and just how they use them and how they place them. It's gorgeous. So you don't normally do like special orders, right? You just...
Well, I do. You know, it just depends. And like if someone asked me for certain colors, then I could do that. The one when they wanted two was a little... But yeah, I'm happy to do special orders.
And so the best place for people to find you is at Monmouth Harbor.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
So that's not hard.
No.
Because you guys have been in the area there at the store for a few years now, right?
Yeah, 2 years and a couple of months. Yeah.
Working hard.
Yeah.
So
great.
even for you, that must have been nice, because when you own a business or have a business or go to work, to have some sort of creative outlet.
Yes.
Just the ability to be able to do that must have been.
I even said, in this winter when things aren't quite as busy as they are in the summer, I might, bring some of them here, and when we're not as busy, just make them.
Oh, that's so great.
And we're thinking about having some workshops. We're not quite at that point yet, but to be able to
show
help people, bring your things, and we'll help you put them together.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's not all about what we can make; it's about what we can do for our community, and that's one of the things we can do.
So. Well, you've done a lot, and I appreciate it so much. And thank you very much for being here with us this morning. So, you're learning all kind of good and fun and interesting things here today on Polk Salad. We're having a bounty of conversation about what you can do with some things that you may already have around the house. Stay tuned with us as we talk about one more very unique way to use something that's ordinarily just completely thrown away. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Polk Salad. We are continuing our conversation on reusing, recycling, repurposing. And with us in the studio this morning, we have Ryan McGlinchey, who's actually a Western Oregon University student and does something very unique with some leftover ammunition that he uses. So let's get Ryan to tell us a little bit about that. Thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. So you're a student here at Western.
I am.
And what are you doing here?
Studying art. This is my third, it will be my third year at Western.
Are you from here?
No, well, originally I was born in Eugene, kind of moved all around, and most recently I was living in Kansas and going to school out there.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then my folks moved out here, so I kind of followed them.
Came back home,
Yep.
huh? Well, that's great. So, so you're in your third year as an art student.
Well, fourth year as an art student, but fifth year in college.
Okay,
So.
good. So what's your medium?
Mostly digital,
Uh-huh.
a lot of video, a lot of photography.
Were you interested in that in high school?
Yeah, I was in mostly photography classes in high school, and that kind of transitioned into some graphic design work, and then most recently into sort of a passion for videography.
Videography, so filming.
Yep.
Okay, so I sometimes, because sometimes, you know, you talk to college students and they didn't have, in other words, their interests change. Like, but you had that interest all along. You kind of knew when you got to college, I want to be an art major. Or
Well, I actually started out as a youth ministry major.
Really?
Yep, I was going to a Christian school, and you know, that was kind of the direction I wanted to head, was a youth pastor.
Yeah.
And then that kind of changed. You know, I kind of my passion kind of changed into an art focus.
And you went with that.
Yep.
Congratulations. You're learning to listen to your heart young. I tell you, for a lot of us, that takes a lot of years to catch on. You kind of got to be who you were made to be.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. So I have here in my hand what looks like a ring that's been forged from, you know, I know nothing about bullets or guns or anything, or not much anyway. But tell me about this. This, I guess, is part of your art passion. How'd you come to make these rings that have the end of a bullet on them?
So my girlfriend actually found one similar to that on Pinterest, and she was like, "Ryan, do you think you could make that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure that's not too hard to make." And so I
Right.
just kind of fiddled around with some different types of metal and some different materials, and I settled on taking old, like, plumbing tubing.
Is that what this is? Plumbing
Yeah, it's
tubing?
just a copper tube that I've cut into. That one's pretty thick, but
Yeah.
I make various sizes, various widths. And then the bullets were, my dad and I are really into hunting and fishing and all that, and so we have a lot of empty bullets. And he actually reloads some of them so he can use them again. But some of them that he doesn't have the materials to reload, I took them and just cut the ends off of them, and
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, okay, so this is actually quite nice and pretty, and I love this band. I would never have guessed it was a piece of plumbing, which I guess a lot of plumbing's copper. Is that right?
I think, yeah, it used to be.
Yeah. So, but you see, having the idea and seeing how to do it, but having the tools and the knowledge of how to use the tools is something different. So how'd you gain that? I mean, I could see where you'd go, oh, that's a great idea. But for me, I'd go, that's a great idea. I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though it looks simple, I know it's not.
Yeah. Some of the kind of basic skills came from just shop class in high school.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yep. And then my dad does a lot of home improvement projects at the house they just moved into. And so there I kind of learned a little more of how to, you know, cut a little more precisely
Right.
and use the right tools to cut efficiently.
Because he has saws. Because it looks to me like you need a saw.
That's actually just done with a hacksaw,
Re-
a little hand
Is that
saw.
right?
Yep. So
This
it takes.
smooth, but then you smooth it down some way.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a little Dremel rotary tool.
I don't know what that is.
So it's a little handheld thing, and it's got a little sanding barrel on the top, and it spins
It's
really
electric.
fast. Yep. And
Okay.
you just kind of smooth it out
Wow.
really gradually.
So you don't need like a big saw
Oh no.
to do.
No.
You just do this with a hacksaw?
Yep. I do it right
Really?
outside under my carport.
Really?
Yep.
You have a vice grip or something that holds
Yeah.
the pipe
Yep.
still? And how do you decide which type of pipe to use? I mean, because can you size rings?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll take, you know, if I have an inch of copper tubing, I'll cut a section out of it and use some pliers to bend it
Really?
to whatever size I need.
You don't have to heat it. You just bend it with pliers.
Sometimes I'll heat it just a little bit to make
How
it
do
a
you
little.
heat it?
Just with a blowtorch.
Just with a blowtorch.
Just with a blowtorch, yeah.
Like everybody's got a blowtorch laying around. But you have a blowtorch and you know how to use it.
Yep.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the skill part of art that often eludes me, you know. It's like, so sometimes you'll bend it with a blowtorch or heat it so you can then bend it with pliers. Quite a process.
Yeah. Most recently I found at Joann Fabrics, I found sort of pre-made rings that are resizable. So it kind of eliminates the need to cut out a section.
Right.
And now I can just kind of put the bullet right on
Do you?
to the ring.
So, but are they this nice?
No. They're a little softer metal. They still have that color. They still have that bronze kind of coppery color to them. But they're much thinner metal, so they're much more pliable, which makes them not as sturdy, and it doesn't look as nice.
Right, because this actually, I mean, this is really pretty, and I can see where, you know, I know that it's sort of trendy in some areas of the country to have these camo weddings, you know what they call them? They don't call them redneck weddings. They call them something.
Well, some people call them redneck weddings.
And they love it, you know, they got the camo. And I could see where if somebody was a hunter or something, this would be a great wedding ring, right? So how I mean, do you just make them and give them away, or do you sell them, or what happens?
Yeah, you know, I'll sell them on Facebook or
You have a
whatever.
Facebook page?
Yep, and I have a website that I sell them on too.
All right. So if people, you know, wanted to get some from you or figure out for themselves how to do it or whatever, could they, I mean, we could put your phone number up or maybe, I don't know, what's the best way to contact you?
Probably email. You can just email me.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so we'll put that up, the email?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Because I think that, you know, especially now with all the hunting and the people like Duck Dynasty and all that stuff is kind of bringing all that back to the fore, you know, for kind of nationwide. This might be something that's really popular. I really like the copper tubing and the finish on that. It's quite nice.
And actually the bullet comes in 2 different colors.
Oh, it does?
So normally they're made of brass, and so they have kind of a yellow color to them. But they also make nickel bullets, and so they're silver.
Oh.
So when somebody wants to buy one, or when I'm making one for someone, I'll just ask them, do you want gold or do you want silver?
So this is like various quality, I mean, pretty good quality of metals. Nickel and brass and copper, and you have all this. It's not like just something that's going to bend or go away. I guess I didn't realize that ammunition was made with such good, I guess it would have to be.
So it's got to hold all the heat from the gunpowder burning. It's got something's got to hold all that
like
pressure
a little rocket, right?
Yep, exactly.
Oh my gosh. How long have you been doing this?
Just about a year almost.
You still enjoy it?
Yep. Oh yeah.
And is it your, do you do other projects or is this your main one now?
That's my main one. That and kind of video work.
You're making movies for people?
Yeah. Well, kind of make my own movies, but
do you?
Hoping to expand to make.
And you work in this studio here too, right?
I do. I do work in the studio.
What is your title here at this studio?
Probably a production assistant.
Yeah.
I guess I would call.
So you're learning a lot here.
Yeah.
And you help us out with this show a great deal, doing all the things that most people like myself never knew about or still don't know about. Just sit here and watch this magic happen. Yeah. So gosh, multi-talented. So when do you graduate?
Hopefully at the end of next year.
And then, do you have ideas about where you're going?
I'm kind of hoping to go to a news station.
Oh, right, and do this production work.
Yeah.
But you can still make these cool things.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this with us. This is something that I would have never guessed. And you probably get a lot of requests for them, I would guess.
Not really.
I mean, is it because people don't know about it?
That's a lot of it. People don't really know that I'm doing it and making it, you know, despite my best efforts to to kind of get my name out there.
Well, somebody must, I mean, if it's on Pinterest, somebody's thinking it's cool, right?
Yeah.
So good. Well, thank you very much for sharing this today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, and thank you for all the other stuff you're doing around here. Good luck with all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. We will be right back. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed our show today as much as I have. We have so many interesting people in our community, so many creative minds who are not only creating interesting and wonderful things to pass along to us, but they're also helping keep stuff, tonnage, waste out of the landfill, which has these long-term effects for all of us. So thank you so much. We will have a couple of more shows where we continue this trend in this segment and talking about, we're going to have a bounty of conversation just a couple of more times on this subject, and I sure hope you'll join us. Until then, I will see you around town.